Welcome back to the channel. Today we put in the GTX 980 to the test against one of the most demanding games out there, Elden Ring. We'll be running the game at 3 different resolutions: 1080p, 1440p and 4K. First on low settings and then on max. Let's see how this nearly decade-old graphic cards hold up in 2024. Before we dive into the benchmarks, let's quickly recap the GTX 980 specs. Released back in 2024 for $550, the GTX 980 featured a 4GB of DDR5 VRAM, 2048 CUDA cores, and a base clock of 1126 MHz. Starting off strong with 1080p on low settings, we experienced a steady frame rate of 60 FPS with occasional dips to 58 and even 55. Despite the lower settings, the game still looked fantastic, maintaining a surprising amount of details. Not everything was perfect though. Some elements, like the grass, seems to be going through a rough patch, almost as if it was dealing with divorce and paid child support. But beyond the struggling grass, the overall level of details in this game is truly impressive, leaving me to wonder, how would the 1440p look like, and what must I sacrifice to the FPS cards to get a smooth gameplay? Turning up the heat, we moved on to 1440p on low settings. I was pleasantly surprised by the frame rates and how smooth the gameplay remained. It's safe to say that 1440p didn't stress the GPU as much as I expected, which left me wondering even more, how would it handle 4K? The game still looked fantastic with frame rates ranging from 50 to 58, occasionally dipping to the 40s. That's a drop of about 33% from the steady 60 frames we saw at 1080p. If you're enjoying this breakdown so far, hit the like, subscribe button, and for more detailed performance review on this graphic card, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. Let's see how the card handles 4K, shall we? Alright, let's push this GPU to 4K. But first, a quick recap of what has been going on. At 1080p low settings, we were crashing it with 60 FPS smooth, steady, and looking great, aside from some grass that seemed like it was going through some divorce. At 1440p, things held up surprisingly well, with 50 to 58 with dips to 40. That's about 33% drop from 1080p, but still very playable. Now at 4K, brace yourself. It's 20 FPS. Yes, that's 66% drop from 1080p. Not ideal, but still impressive visuals. Just more like a cinematic slideshow. If you're looking for 4K gaming, you might want to think twice. But for 1080p and 1440p, this card still packs a great punch. Enjoying the breakdown? Smash that like button and subscribe for more performance reviews. Now we are getting into the big boy territory. At 1080p with maximum settings on Elden Ring, the GTX 980 delivered a solid 45 FPS, with certain locations even managing to hit a steady 60 frames. It seems the grass has finally won the divorce case and was actually doing well for once. The level of details was tripled, but it came at a cost, dropping from 60 FPS to 45, an overall decrease of 25%. Now I want to hear from you. What games do you think the GTX 980 can handle at 4K? Drop your suggestion in the comments and let's see what this card can really do. At 1440p max, performance ranged from 30 to 48 FPS compared to the 50 FPS it achieved in previous tests at lower settings. This translates to a drop in performance with the frame rate decreased by 4% at its best from 50 to 48 and by a significant 40% at its worst from 50 to 30 FPS. Despite the hit to frame rate, the level of detail was great and still provided a smooth and playable experience. The additional demand of higher resolution clearly took a toll, but even at its lower points, the game remained enjoyable with decent values. The GTX can handle 1440p, though it's pushing the card closer to its limits, especially on higher settings. Oh my god, things took a dip with frame rates ranging from 20 to 27 FPS when it came down to 4K. While the visuals were stunning, the low frame rate was a bit of a letdown. But surprisingly, it wasn't the major disadvantage I expected, given that this card is pushing 10 years old. It's no surprise that it struggles to keep up with modern 4K demands. The GTX 980 is like an aging athlete, still capable but probably in need of a little help to get things done. This is where tech like FR, FSR and frame generation comes in, much like what was used to boost performance in Black Myth Wukong. Link in the description below. video if you want to check it out. This tool can work wonders, turning borderline performance into something far more playable, achieving incredible results even on older hardware like the GTX 980. So, what is the final verdict? The GTX 980 can still handle Elden Ring at 1080p on both low and high settings with ease, and even at 1440p with some compromises. However, at 4K, especially on high settings, this card is simply outmatched by the demand of modern gaming. If you are gaming at 1440p or 1080p, the GTX 1080 still has some life left in it, but if you are looking to play at higher resolution or with maxed out settings, it might be time to consider an upgrade. Thanks for watching. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like and subscribe button for more tech content. Also, leave a comment below with your thoughts on the GTX 980, or let me know what other hardware you'd like to see tested. Your support helps the channel grow, and I truly appreciate it. See you in the next one.